So let's 10x is easier than 2x. Folks, when I first heard that, I thought the guy that was saying it was crazy. But the more that I've listened to this gentleman, Dan Sullivan, that wrote this incredible book, 10x is easier than 2x, the more I realized what a genius he was. And today I hope to impart a few of those lessons that I am currently learning right now from this book. And hopefully by the end of today's show, I can have you convinced that 10x is easier than 2x. And guys, I get excited as a cryptocurrency investor when I start thinking about 10x versus 2x, because most of us with our crypto portfolios, the reason that we're here, the reason that we believe in crypto is because we believe that we can 10x our investment dollars, 20x, 50x, 100x our business dollars. Part of what Dan Sullivan does now, he consults businesses on a regular basis. He'll take a business that's doing $1 million in business and he'll ask them, hey, what is a big goal for you? And they'll be like, man, we would love to go from, $1 million in business to $2 or $3 million in business over the next couple of years or next 5 years. And he will challenge them with a goal like, why don't you take your business from $1 million to $100 million over the next 3 years? And the thing about what he teaches is, in one instance, he had a lawyer that was doing a couple $1 million a year, and he got the lawyer convinced, or the lawyer convinced himself, that he could have $100 million nationwide agency. But he set the goal to do that in 10 years. And Dan Sullivan's point to this gentleman was, man, that's a fantastic goal. Going from $2.5 million to $100 million is an amazing goal, but you're giving yourself way, 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 way too long to do it. If you have to do it over the course of 3 years, you're going to make much different decisions if you need to do it in 3 years than if you have to get it done over the course of 10 years. And what it started the wheels of spinning in my brain is so often, guys, we've been trained here, we've all heard, like if it's too good to be true, or if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And, like get rich quick schemes and so on and so forth. And I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with getting rich quick. So one of my favorite mentors, Myron Golden, says it's a lot easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time. And folks, believing that and starting to conceptualize that and understand that it's actually true, not just a soundbite, is starting to revolutionize my life. And I hope that you guys will go through and figure out how you can revolutionize your life. So I don't have all of the answers. If you ask me, okay, great, Brad, how are we going to 10x our crypto portfolios, 10 times faster? So for those of you that have a goal, maybe your goal is to have $1 million crypto portfolio, and you've given yourself till 2030 to do it because maybe you think you can't get it done during this bull market. Folks, I'm here to tell you that you probably should, the first thing that all of you should do, and I don't have a referral link, I'm not making 1 penny, is I would highly recommend that any of you that are serious about totally revolutionizing your financial future, totally revolutionizing your cryptocurrency portfolio, go get this book, How World-Class Entrepreneurs Achieve More by Doing Less. 10x is easier than 2x. And then let's work on it collectively as a team, because I believe, so one of the things that he talks about is a lot of times, if you're going to scale something from, say, $1 million to $2 or $3 million, the things that would work in order to scale from 1 million to 2 or 3 will not work if you're trying to scale from 1 million to 100 million. not only do you have to have a totally different mindset, but you have to create some new skill sets, and you have to come up with some new ideas that are maybe a little bit outside of the box that you're normally thinking about. So maybe if you're a person that is just like, okay, I'm going to take my $100 a paycheck and I'm going to buy, these tokens with it, then you're, in order to scale your cryptocurrency business, or whatever you want to call it. I call it a business to me. And I think that those of you that, even if you have a job and you're creating a wealthy portfolio in cryptocurrency, that cryptocurrency is your business. So, and I think, folks, if you treat cryptocurrency like a business, that is a huge step towards 10xing instead of 2xing. So, folks, if you are treating your cryptocurrency investing journey like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. And guys, especially for us guys out here, how many of you have hobbies that make you money? Probably none of us. Because from what I've experienced in my life, fellas, and you probably have too, a hobby is like golf is a hobby. Going fishing is a hobby. Going out on the weekends and enjoying your ski boat, going water skiing or wakeboarding or surfing. Those are hobbies. Those are things that you do in your spare time. Maybe buying a car and restoring a car is a hobby. Most hobbies cost you money. Even when you're trying to make money, if you're taking something and your mindset is that this is a hobby, most of the time you're not going to make money in it. So number one thing that I would suggest that you do, if you're watching today's video and you like the idea of 10xing your crypto portfolio instead of 2xing it, is write this down. My cryptocurrency investing journey is a business. It's not a hobby. And when I say 10x, I'm not talking about like turning 1,000 into 10,000, because that's already a given. If we don't 10x our investment funds during this cycle, we probably missed the mark. So all of us are planning on 10xing our original investment. So when I say that we want to 10x, I'm talking about, that means instead of 10x being the status quo and being the norm, let's figure out how we can 100x. Because guys, let's face it, if you take 10 grand and you turn it into 100 grand, that's awesome. Be a nice little, addition to your savings account, but it's not probably going to start to create the life of your dreams. But if you can figure out how to take 10x, and instead of turning it into 100 grand, you could 10x that and turn it into $1 million. Now you are starting to get somewhere. So that's a long-winded explanation of what today's video is going to be about. We're going to throw in some microcap gems into this baby, because this is Microcap Gem Wednesday. But that's kind of going to be the theme of the day. And as we look at some of these tokens and look at some of these opportunities, guys, I would love for any of you that have an idea to pop into your head, if you would share it with the group. I've got a couple of ideas that are formulating in my mind that I'm trying to conceptualize and determine, hey, are these things going to help me 10x my cryptocurrency investment journey? Are these the things that are going to help me to go, instead of getting to $1 million this bull run, getting to 10 million? Look at that, folks. Like, look at, if you're a guy or a gal that's been investing for a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years now, and you believe that you're poised to get to $1 million portfolio in the next 6 months, and you're excited about that, how much more exciting would it be to realize that we can 10x that and get to 10 million this year instead of $1 million? And guys, I'm not talking about doing risky stuff. I'm not talking about taking your $1 million and going and, putting it on some kind of a, super small microcap gem play, going and investing in meme coins, going and throwing your money into, 100x leverage trades like I was talking a little bit about yesterday. I'm talking about coming up with a whole brand new mindset and figuring out new ways that you can multiply and propel your cryptocurrency business into the stratosphere. So with that, guys, I want to run over here real quick and say good morning to all of you winners that are watching today, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you guys. And thank you so much for being here. Vanish, God bless you. Thank you for being here. We got Mr. Eric Bernstein in the house. Good morning. Hello, hello. Roger the Alien, man. I see that you are becoming a regular fixture in the mornings, man. I really appreciate that. There's so many new people that are starting to become the OGs of this channel. Like 6 months ago, we had Eric Bernstein and Pablo Noodles and Tim G. And I don't want to forget any of you guys. Deadwood, Dave P., if I didn't already say his name. There was 5 or 6 or 7 of you that showed up for every single live stream. And now look at this, man. We got Donnie T in the house here just about every single day. Mr. Witcher, almost every single day. I remember I saw Lad Lewis yesterday. I saw Crypto the Third yesterday. So thank you guys. Tulsa King. How can I forget Tulsa King, man? We were talking about that the other day on the show. What an incredible television show we think Sylvester Stallone and Tulsa King is. And man, just on a separate note, Tulsa King, the more that I watch the Stallones and I watch Sylvester Stallone with his wife Jennifer and their 3 daughters, and the love that they have and the things that they're doing in their life, man, what an incredible family and just an example of winning, man. I'd love to read an autobiography or read up more on Sylvester Stallone, because that is a man that went through some incredible trials and tribulations and ended up coming out on top. Dave P., there he is. And Jet Set Crypto, Jet Set Crypto. I know you've been around a lot because you managed to win a couple of giveaways just in the last few weeks. So I know that you've been here quite a bit. And so I just appreciate each and every one of you. Shazi, here every single day. So, man, I love you guys. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. And I hope you're starting to get excited about what is going on here a little bit in life. Because let's look at this. What a beautiful, beautiful day in the markets, huh, man? We woke up to Bitcoin at over 109,000 now. $109,000, guys. And on a totally separate note, I'm going to jump around a little bit today. One of the things that you can do, guys, invest in yourself, not only invest in crypto. So I am a part of Crypto Lifers 99. He calls it the 99 trading group, Crypto Lifer trading group, Sam Price. It's $100 a month, and it's one of the best $100 a month I ever have spent. Look at this, guys. I want to show you something that I think is key. So last night, look here. Last night at right here, last night, I'm getting to it. So he talks here a little bit at 10:40 p.m. and I'm keeping an eye on the chat. And so maybe it's a little earlier, actually. So here, so he starts talking about this Bitcoin trade setup. And he says, Bitcoin USDT looking for that 1-minute pump. And then right here, he says the Bitcoin 4-hour is back above the 200 moving average. I called out the inverted head and shoulders on the 1 minute, and we're gone. So this was at 11 o'clock last night. I want to show you something here. I'm not sure if I can pull up the exact time, but this Bitcoin trade right here, I'm not sure if I could pull up. Let's see if I look at transaction history, trade history. So trade history, 2133. So 2130, or excuse me, 2321. 23 is 11, and then 21 would be 21. So at 11:21 last night, after seeing this post at 11:04, I jumped in and created, what are these open orders? Oh, those are just my stop loss. So look at this, guys. I created this Bitcoin position. I threw $311 into this trade at 25x leverage. I felt relatively comfortable. My strike price was at $106,741. My liquidation price would be at $102,808. And I felt like, even with 25x leverage, that's only 4%. I felt like 102,808 was a relatively good liquidation point. There's a long ways from 106,741 down to 102. And then the other thing that I did, guys, is I'm not a total idiot. When I tell you that I don't like stop losses, I'm talking about on my ladder trades. When I do a trade where I'm putting in ladders, I don't need stop losses, because if it comes down to the liquidation point, my next trade is going to kick in. But this was just a one-off deal, a shorter term trade. So I went in last night before I went to bed. I just moved this up, so you can't really see, but I had my stop loss in at just over break even. So what I did is I watched the trade for about the next half an hour while I was awake. Bitcoin was already up into the $107,000 range. So I moved my stop loss up to just above break even. It basically, if it would have came back down, I would have made like 28 cents. It was right above break even. So I go to bed last night with the totally slept like a baby, because I got my stop loss in. I got my take profit at 112 grand. That was kind of greedy, but part of the reason I did that is I want to give this a chance to run. So now I wake up this morning, and here Bitcoin is at 100. It was at a little over 100. It was at 108,800. And so before the live stream, when I woke up and saw that, I moved my stop losses. I didn't change the 112, but I changed my 106,741, and I moved it up to 108,000. And my profit here, I don't know if you guys can see, it's pretty small. My profit on this trade, I'm guaranteed right now to make $91.89, a little over about 29.5% ROI. But as you can see, Bitcoin has continued to rip. Bitcoin is all the way up to 109,606. So I can move this stop loss up even a little bit more. But check this out, guys. If this thing goes to 112, creates a new all-time high, I'm going to pick up 123% profit. So when I'm talking about 10x instead of 2x, sometimes that means investing your resources first into education and into things that are going to make you more money and increase your skill set. Would we all agree here? If you're paying attention, you're listening, and you're like, and you're digging what I'm talking about, will you throw a 1 in the chat if you're hearing what I'm saying and it's making some sense to you? And do you all agree, like while you're throwing 1s in the chat, do you all agree that if you get better and you learn new skill sets, that you're probably going to be able to make more money than you are currently by getting better and learning new skill sets? If that makes sense to you, do me a favor, folks. Please throw some 1s in the chat and let me know that this isn't falling on deaf ears. Like if this is something that you guys are enjoying, if you're liking today's video, please throw a 1 in the chat. If you hate in today's video and you want me to shut up and talk about something else, that's okay too. Throw like a 3 in the chat if you hate today. But part of the reason that I'm asking is because another one of my mentors said, hey, Brad, you have to quit trying to solve problems that other people don't care about you solving. So in other words, a lot of people have business ideas. They go out into the world and will you guys get off my camera? Gosh. So a lot of people, when they're looking at doing a business, they do a business based on something that they like, that interests them. And my mentor told me, hey, Brad, that's all fine and dandy if what you do is something that the people that follow you are interested in and they actually care about, because no matter how excited you are about something, Brad, if they're not excited about it, then it's not going to be good. It's not good for you. It's not good for them. So knock it off. So part of what I'm trying to do here, guys, is I really want to figure out what you want, what is valuable to you, and the content that will keep you coming back and keep you engaged, keep you excited about being here. So, man, I am seeing some 1s. I love that, man. Thank you all very much for throwing those 1s in the chat. And, hopefully you are, getting some good stuff. I didn't say it before this video started, but if you're sitting at your desk, someplace where you can have a pen and paper handy, I would highly recommend when you're watching me taking notes, because I talk fast. I know a lot of you guys probably have to stop the video and write a little bit and then start the video. So I might go for an hour and it might take you an hour and a half to watch it because you're taking notes. But take some notes when I'm doing some of these, like trainings, when we are really just looking at altcoins and looking at different, situations like that. Maybe you don't need to take notes as much, or you just need to jot down the ticker of the token. But when we're on a subject today about how to 10x your cryptocurrency portfolio, which really is 100x or 1000x, some of you might have figured out how to 25 or 50x your crypto portfolio. If you can 50x your crypto portfolio, and then by creating the right mindset and some new strategies, we can 10x that to 500x, what would that do for your life? If you could 500x your cryptocurrency investments, how long would it take you to be financially independent? You getting ready to take off, son? I love you, buddy. You want to come say hi to everybody? Man, you guys, it's been a while since my son has had an opportunity to say hello on a channel, but this is my incredible son, Joshua.
How's it going, everybody?
And yeah, man, so he's been doing some incredible work on the YouTube channel, putting all sorts of new things together, working super hard on the Infinite Agape project. And man, I just couldn't be any more proud of this young man. And then check this out. I got to show this off. This was my Father's Day present from this young man. He bought me a new watch that I am looking forward to rocking. Look at how beautiful that watch is, guys. One of the best gifts I ever got in my whole life. So I love you, son. Have a fantastic day, brother. We'll see you again soon.
Have a great day, everybody.
That right there is what this life is all about. All of the money in the world can't replace that relationship and the special bond that young man and I have. And so, we talk about making money a lot on this show, but the reason that we want to make money, guys, is so that we can have relationships, so that we can love on the people that we want to love on, that we can spend time with them, that we can be there for them and do the things. My son, I was there to take him to school and there to pick him up. And, for those of you that don't know, technically he's adopted. I don't talk about it much, because in my mind, he's just my son. And in his mind, I'm just his dad. But, unfortunately, his dad passed away when he was 5 years old. Pretty traumatic event. And there's this young man going through life with his mom, 6 years old at the time that I met his mom. And now he's 18, going to be 19 here in a month. On July 19th, he turns 19. And man, one of the biggest blessings in my life. Sorry, I didn't even know that this was going to go there. I'm getting teary-eyed, but like the ability that I've had to build this relationship with him and to have him call me dad, and for me to be able to say, man, this is my son, and I am so proud of him. That's what life is all about. And that's why I work so hard, but it's also why we are here, guys. Being financially solvent has a lot to do with the quality of your life. Whether we like it or not, money is important. Like if you don't got any, it's going to be pretty hard to have a very good quality of life, because for better or for worse, everybody wants money, man. Go to the grocery store and load up your cart full of groceries. And when you get to the checkout line, tell them that you don't have any money, but that you just want to give them some goodwill. You want to say some nice things about them. Even if you're a Christian, you tell them, hey, man, I'm a Christian and I want to pray a blessing over you. And in return for that, I would like for you to just give me this shopping cart full of groceries for free. You know, it ain't going to happen. So whether we like it or not, money is an important tool. And so that's why we are here today, looking at our lives, looking at what can we do? What can we do, man? What can we do to 10x our cryptocurrency portfolios? And this translates into every area of your life, guys. If you're an employee or a business owner, this book will help you to 10x those too. But because this is a cryptocurrency investing channel, we are going to talk about that. And then one more thing, guys, before we get right back onto that, I want to say something super special happened on Monday. So you guys know that I'm a Christian. I've never been shy about my faith. But I did mention a few weeks back, after an incredible Christian entrepreneurial event that I went to, that I was really going to be bold and step out and love on people and show my relationship with Christ to the world and kind of bare my soul. And I've talked a lot more about God and, you know, the importance of having God in our life. Like, what good does it do for us to make all the money in the world if along the way we ruined our health, we ruined our relationships? And, you know, if whether you believe in heaven or hell, I mean, I don't want to get into a big debate on that, but if there is a hell, and if people do go to it, what good is it to spend this 20, 50, 100 years on this earth and then spend eternity someplace like that? So I've always joked around and said, you know, if I end up being wrong about Christianity, then all I did was, you know, I spent some time in church. I spent some time doing some things in my life that ended up maybe being meaningless, but most of them are good things. Like all of the stuff that I do because of my Christian faith, really, it's amazing. And it adds so much value to my life that even if somehow I'm wrong and there isn't a God and there isn't a heaven, I'm okay with that. But on the alternative, if I didn't believe in God and I'm wrong and I have to go to this place called hell for eternity, that scares the heck out of me. That would be awful. And so what I'm excited about this channel is I believe we are going to attract and create a community of just like-minded, godly people that are doing wonderful things for the kingdom of God, along with building our finances. On that note, something happened on Monday that was super special. At the end of the show on Monday, I said, man, if there's anybody here that wants some prayer, that's going through a challenging time in life, and you just need a shoulder. I've got big shoulders, I said. So if you need a shoulder, somebody to talk to, please DM me, get in touch with me. Like, I'm easy to get a hold of, man. I'll give you guys my phone number, whatever, man. I am not some guy that is too good to talk to you. I'm not like, you know, the fancy influencer and you guys are the peon, you know, people that watch my channel, man. You guys are every bit as good as me. God made you incredible the same way that he made me. God's DNA is flowing through every single one of our bodies. Long story short, I had a young man reach out to me, and we got to really have an amazing conversation, and was able to pray for this young man, was able to uplift this young man. And long story short, I just wanted to put that out there because this world is a broken place. And I know that every single one of you watching this show today has challenges and things that are going on in your life that hurt. You've got broken relationships. You've got financial troubles. You've got, illnesses, either personally or with somebody that you know or love. You've got, death. The death of parents has happened over the last handful of years, or maybe you've got parents that are starting to get older that you're worried about. We all have something going on in our life that just feels like it's too big of a burden for us to carry on our own shoulders. And I'm here to tell you, you're not supposed to. God doesn't want you to try to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Our shoulders aren't wide enough. He wants you to give him your worries and your cares and your challenges and your troubles. And one of the ways that you can do that is by opening up and coming to somebody that you trust. And I want to let you know that I am somebody that you can trust. If you come to me and you need prayer, you come to me and you would like some advice over your marriage or over your finances, I would like to be somebody that you would come to, that you would trust to share with, and trust to hopefully give you some good counsel. And I believe it'll be good counsel because it's all going to come from God. When I am talking to somebody and they have shared a problem with me, I pray to God and ask God to give me the answers. I ask God to speak through me, let me be your arms and your legs and your voice, God, but you do the talking. And the beautiful thing about this young man is he made a comment. He said something like, man, your show on Monday, it felt like you were talking just directly to me. It just felt like that show was for me and me alone. I know there was lots of other people watching, but that show was for me. And I hope that some of you today are feeling like that. I hope multiple people on this show today are like, man, Brad is just like talking to me. It's like, does Brad have like hidden cameras in my house? How does he know? Well, I don't know. God knows. And I'm here to tell you that God loves you so much that he would take a sinner. I sin every day, guys. I'm such a sinner. You guys get to see me at my best. If you saw me at my worst, some of you might unsubscribe from the channel. I'm a sinner, man. I make mistakes every day, but God uses me. And so if you are really feeling led by something that I'm talking about, by something that I'm saying today, if it feels like I'm talking to you, I am. But I want you to know it's not me talking to you. God is talking to you. God is amazing, but he's a gentleman, and he'll only come into your life if you invite him in. So if you feel that prompting on your heart, if you feel something stirring within you today from anything that I've said, I implore you to just say a quick prayer. It could be silent. It could be out loud. You don't have to pray perfect. God doesn't care about your words. He cares about your heart. So if there's anything that you would like to pray about, just pray like you would pray if you were talking to a friend. Hey, God, man, I'm going through this challenge in my marriage. I don't know what to do. Man, it feels like we're headed for divorce, and I don't want to get divorced. So God, if you could help me, if you could maybe bring somebody into my path or have something help show me what I can do to restore my marriage, God, please do something. That's it. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just talk to God like you would talk to your brother or your sister, your mom or your dad or me. Just talk to him. Man, he is closer to you than a brother, it says in the Bible. So for any of you that got brothers or sisters and you guys are close, especially remember that close-knit bond you had when you were kids. A lot of brothers and sisters, as we get older and go out into life, we kind of lose some of that. But remember that bond that you had with your brothers and sisters when you were 10, 11, 12 years old? God says in the Bible that he's closer to you than your brother. God also says that he loves you more than your own parents. And if for some of you that didn't have very good parents, you might be like, well, yeah, that's a no-brainer because my parents sucked. And I apologize for some of you that had bad parents. One of the things that you can take solace in is that you have a God that will never leave or forsake you and that loves you. And even if it felt like you were left and forsaken when you were young, you weren't. You know, my stepmom had a very, very bad childhood. She had a really, really rough childhood, a very horrible father. And as she got older, it was very hard for her to believe that God loved her, because why would he have let this stuff happen to her when she was a kid, when she was defenseless? Why would he have allowed that kind of stuff to happen? And as she got older, though, she started to realize the love of God, and she understood that this world is just a broken place and that we are driven by our flesh and that there's bad people out there and that God gives us free will. Man, I swear, this wasn't supposed to turn into a sermon today, but that God gives us free will and that bad things are going to happen to good people. You know, you've all heard that saying, why do bad things happen to good people? I don't know. But what I do know is that God is there with us through all of it, and that if you will invite him into your life, he can get you through it. I know some incredible women. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of a lady named Joyce Myers, but Joyce Myers is a very famous Christian lady that's a counselor that's helped millions of women, but she was molested when she was a young girl. But God has got her through that, and then God has used her as such a powerful tool to help other women. Because if you're going through life and you've experienced trauma, you don't want to talk to somebody about it that's never experienced it, that never gone through it. How in the world is somebody that's never experienced that trauma going to help you get through yours? So God uses people that have had those tragic things happen in their life to help other people. I don't know anybody. Well, I do know some people personally, but imagine, like, one of the most horrible things on the planet that I can imagine happening to somebody is losing a child. You know, that's not how this world was meant to be. We're supposed to bury our parents. They're not supposed to bury us. So losing a child, especially 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years old, can you imagine losing a child through illness or a car accident or something? But then God heals you, and through your relationship with God, it's never okay, but you're able to work through it and get through life. And you know that little bundle of joy, that person that you miss so much and that passed away tragically, is in heaven, and that you're going to get to see them and spend eternity with them someday. Can you imagine going to heaven someday and that child is the first person to greet you? Mom, Dad. And it's one of the happiest moments of your afterlife. And you start to focus on that. You know, okay, this person is no longer here on earth, but they're going to be there in heaven with me forever. Whether I live here for 50 years or 100 years, I get to live eternity with that person. That's what got me through my dad's passing. Man, I think it's very, very rare for anybody in this world to be closer to a human being than I was to my dad. And I don't say that arrogantly or, you know, as a put down to other people, but my dad and I had an extraordinary relationship. One of the things that gets me through, if I thought that he was just gone forever, I was never going to see him again, I was never going to talk to him again, that would be rough. But knowing that he's in heaven and he's waiting for me and that he's going to be the first person that I see when I get to heaven, and I can't wait to give him a big hug and I can't wait to spend eternity with him, that's part of what gets me through here on this earth. But last thing I'm going to say about God, and then we're going to go back to some investing. And I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If some of you turned off the video or unsubbed, God bless you. I still love you, and that's okay too. But I just want to give that invitation again. I'm going to be starting a virtual Bible study. So it's going to be a Zoom. It's going to be once a week. And so that's part of the reason that I'm putting this out there too, is I want you guys to come to me and let's grow our relationships with God together. So if any of you that are watching this today, you need prayer, you need counsel over something that's going on in your life, please reach out to me in a DM. You can DM me on Twitter, you can DM me on Discord, you can DM me on Telegram, and I'm happy to have a video chat, a phone call, or just talk through text. But please get in touch with me if your heart is being led to. And then if, last but not least, if you have any desire at all to be a part of this weekly Bible study that I'm going to start doing, please reach out to me in a DM and let me know that you would be interested. And we'll try to pick a day and a time that accommodates as many people as possible. But that's going to be impossible to accommodate everybody. But if you have an interest in getting onto a weekly Bible study with me virtually on a Zoom, please let me know. So with that, guys, whoo, that was deep, way deeper than I planned to go today. But what can I say? It is what it is. This is what you get with Brad Varnell. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else. I'm okay with that. And I'll love you and I'll pray for you and I'll be rooting for you. But if you want to watch Brad Varnell, this is going to happen from time to time. So with that, does anybody have any tokens that they want me to look at? Here we are 46 minutes into this show. Man, I might have to do another live stream because I just realized, man, I'm talking a lot today about stuff that aren't Microcap Gems, but I just signed up for another program. We're talking about, you guys are talking about, we're talking about, Crypto Lifer and that $99 a month. Well, I just signed up for another program. Let me see if I can pull this guy up. Cap Chatfield. See if, so this guy here. This guy is a Christian entrepreneur, Cap Chatfield, and he is a creator of, man, I can't think of the name of it all of a sudden. Let me see if I know I got an alert. I got a text message or an alert from these guys not too long ago. Yeah, Kingdom Creator. So I just signed up. I don't know if you guys can see this on my phone. So I just signed up for this gentleman's course. And this Kingdom Creator course is several thousands of dollars. I didn't just, pay for it in full. I wish I was in a position where I could just pay for it in full. But this gentleman is an incredible Christian, and he really helps Christian entrepreneurs put their message out in such a way that it's impactful for life and for business. And on Wednesdays at 10 a.m., I get an hour with him and a select few other people that have signed up for this inner circle mastermind of his. And so I'm going to have to hop off here before 10 o'clock so that I can hop on that. I don't want to spend that money and then watch a recording. I mean, I can't, that is going to be recorded. I can watch a recording, but I don't want to do that, especially I just signed up for it. And now today is my first official day in the inner circle live. And so that is important for me to get to. So I don't think, unfortunately, guys, I love you and I apologize if you're mad that I didn't give you any microcap gems to look at today, but I just realized we're running out of time. I'm not going to be able to probably do too much as far as giving you guys any microcap gems. I will give you guys this. For those of you that are really looking for some great places to put your money, I would say that if you search out the top 25 or 50 tokens that there's several tokens here that you don't necessarily aren't considered microcap gems, but that are tokens that are doing amazing things. And so for today, I'm going to give you a few of them. You've probably heard me talk about some of them, but we're going to go from number 100 down. And I'm just, as I see them, I'm going to let you know that these are tokens that I think would be worthy of some of your time. I might click on some of them, I might not. But the first one I see here is Virtuals Protocol. Right now it's at number 90. It's at, it looks like $1 billion market cap, but this Virtuals Protocol is something that I think has a lot of room to run during this bull cycle. I also really like Injective, number 89, Injective and Virtual Protocol. Those are both very, very solid projects that I believe are going to do great things and are going to be around for a long time to come. I'm going to skip over the meme coins. If you like Bonk or if you like this SPX 900, I've heard some good things about them. That's not necessarily my style, so I'm not going to recommend, but I wouldn't discourage you necessarily from them either. Algorand here at number 72. I think that Algorand is going to do some amazing things in the future. Keep scrolling up. You know, Polygon is definitely one of my favorite tokens. I love longing Polygon. You can see here on WEEX, I've got do I have a long in right now? I don't. I know that one of my trades on WEEX got liquidated. Let me see if I actually have a trade in on Polygon right now. I may or may not have a trade. HBAR, Uniswap. You know what? I don't even have a trade in right now on Polygon. But look at these trades real fast, man. Look at that. My HBAR trade up over 100%, $663 invested, $730 profit. Right now, all of my longs are in great shape, but I need to get some more money into Polygon, especially I love my ladder system with Polygon Matic. VeChain is another one that I think is absolutely amazing and that I own a decent chunk of and that I would be very comfortable dollar cost averaging into at these prices. The next one, just a couple up, this Atom token. Guys, this one I think is worth clicking on because this was a $4 token, or it's $4.22 right now. This was a $45 token back in 2022. This token, in my opinion, is around for a long time to stay, and you can get 14 or 15% in interest, an ROI APR, by just holding this token and staking it either on Coinbase or through the Cosmos ecosystem. I'm not going to go into how you stake it, but I love the idea of getting 15% APR on an asset that I think is also going to 5, 10, 15, 20x. This is one of the assets that I'm planning on holding, maybe even all the way through this bull market and into the next one, so that I can be slurping up that 15% all the way along the way. So let's get back down. I think that was around 50-ish, right? Atom was right in here. Yeah, Atom token here was at 56. Caspa is another one that a lot of people love. I haven't invested in Caspa, but Caspa is one that I think has some room to run. I know you guys have all heard about Ondo. Ondo is another great token. ICP, computer, ICP. I'm starting to lean away from it, but it is one that if you like ICP, I wouldn't be mad at you for buying some ICP. Aptos is another good one. I got to get out of here, guys. So I'm going to move a little bit quicker. Uniswap is one that I've got that trade in right now that I'm up over 100% on. Polkadot at $3.54 to me is an absolute steal. And then we got HBAR. HBAR, in my opinion, is one of the best tokens that you could be throwing some money into and possibly even deciding to long a little bit into this market. So I'm just going to stop there. That's getting to the top 25. And I apologize that we didn't get to more altcoin stuff. I hope you guys still enjoyed this. We still got a lot of value, and we're going to revisit this world-class entrepreneur, achieve more by doing less. 10x is easier than 2x. We're going to probably go through, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this book in some more videos. And if this was a topic that you liked, I definitely highly recommend you go get this book. With that, guys, I love you. Have an incredible, amazing, fantastic rest of your week. Enjoy the 4th of July weekend. Be safe. Be smart. Take good care of yourself, guys. Don't go out and do things and put yourself in danger just so that you can enjoy a few fireworks. Don't go get yourself so drunk that you can't walk straight and you can't take care of yourself. Be smart, man. There's a lot of bad things that happen on these holiday weekends because people let their inhibitions down and they do things that they wouldn't normally do, and they get themselves drugged up or alcoholed up, and they make decisions that they wouldn't normally make. So be sober, don't drive, guys. I love you. If you got to drink, great, go drink, but please don't drive. In today's day and age with Uber and everything that we have, there's no excuse for ever driving drunk. So please be the best man or woman that you can be for yourself and for your family, and have a lot of fun, but do it responsibly. And with that, guys, I will see you again very soon. Today was a very special stream for me. I love you guys, and I hope to hear from some of you after this stream is over. I would love to pray for you and help you to get rolling in whatever it is that you are maybe having a challenge with. So take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.